What's going on, YouTube? It's Sensei, a place to be chilling. I'm Mr. A&D back to give you guys another Smackdown review. Friday night Smackdown this morning. Man, I got so much stuff to do. So much stuff I'm behind on. That's why I probably look a little tired. So please do forgive me as I'm trying to, muscle through this because Extreme Rules is tonight. And I wanted to get this review out before, obviously, Extreme Rules came out. And then there have been issues with the podcast. I seen that it's not showing up on all the stuff from our previous podcast because we gotta get for episode 231. So I'm trying to get all that stuff taken care of and figured out. But let's get right into SmackDown here. SmackDown is a season premiere. So obviously it's not like a true season premiere because there's no off season. So it's the thing that they usually do. Triple H comes out and starts off everything and talks about season premiere of SmackDown. On his microphone is a QR code. So when you scan this QR code, it takes you to the three little pigs, like the thing that they showed before, and it has like a weird creepy voice saying, "Let me in." It's Bray Wyatt. It's definitely Bray Wyatt. Where he comes in at, I don't know which match, but we'll get more into that later because we start the segment with the face-to-face between Roman Reigns and Logan Paul. Me personally, I'm like, this is the go home to Extreme Rules. We don't need this, to be honest with you. But sure, let's have it. And obviously, Logan Paul comes out to booze. Not sure they're piped in booze or not, but they were booze. This is the first time on SmackDown that we're coming in with the new commentary team in Michael Cole and Wade Barrett because they changed up the commentary team and the announcing teams and the announcers for Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. So we will talk more about that on this weekend's podcast when we break all that stuff down. There's a lot of things to talk about that's going on in wrestling. So when they get in there, honestly, I have to say this right now that this was not the best of the Bloodline segments, and it has nothing to do with the Bloodline. It's the Logan Paul thing, and then obviously and Paul Heyman. And when I say that, as the everybody's chanting Logan Paul sucks and stuff like that, Reigns tells Logan, "Hey, Logan, man, they used to boo me, but look at me now. I'm one of the greatest of all time." And then he hands the microphone to Paul. Well, he tells Paul Heyman to smarten this kid up. And Paul Heyman talks about the special counsel and tribal chief, stuff like that. But then he starts name dropping different people that did not get a reaction out of the crowd that I think they were kind of hoping for to say that, because he says that like Logan Paul is like this generation's version of Mr. T and Cyndi Lauper, and then, of different celebrities coming out here to try to fight top stars. And what was the other one he says? Something about Anderson Silva talking about made a thing about his brother Jake Paul because that's who he's supposed to be fighting this month, I believe it is. And he made what was that thing that he said? They thought that Jordan Peterson had a boss fight Roman Reigns, but he doesn't. How that maybe Ben Shapiro, who talks so fast somebody can debate him. I would love to debate Ben Shapiro. And then he also talks about they doing Andrew Tate, but the less said about him, the better. And I'm sitting here thinking like, I don't think nobody cares or knows, or if you are, and it did not get the reaction like how when Max Caster raps and he talks about certain things, it's just like, okay, I did the research, stuff like that, and it makes fans be like, ooh, or oh, you said that type thing, like controversy. This didn't get any of that kind of heat. So fast forward to all that stuff. Jake Paul says that he won't argue with Paul. He says he is a wise man, but he says he has one question. When he says he's getting smashed by a tribal chief, does that mean getting smashed by Roman Reigns or by Jey Uso? And I was like, I don't understand what that meant. But he said they took exception to that. He was getting all pissed, and then Reigns he stares at him and to tell Uso to calm down. And Zayn grabs the microphone, and everybody loves Sami Zayn. And he says, hold on, Roman Reigns is the head of the table. He's the GOAT. He's a tribal chief, and there's nobody here that's questioning that. Nobody's challenging that. And then he said, Jay did nothing wrong. He was trying to tell Roman that, look, Jay was just fighting for you. He wasn't getting nothing wrong. He not calling himself the tribal chief of the head table or anything like that. He said Asian superstar doesn't recognize that, they'll get smashed worse than usual, stuff like that. And then he said, but look, we the ones and the Tues, and Logan Paul is the biggest two of them all, type thing. And the bloodline was stronger than ever, stuff like that. So after he does that, that was just basically bloodline segment. It was just kind of like wasn't needed, and I wasn't a big fan of it. Like I say, I think they missed the mark. Very rare miss, to say the least, but I do believe that they missed the mark, though. Up next is Solo Sikoa taking on Ricochet. This matchup I thought was pretty good. Solo attacks Ricochet during his entrance, so he doesn't get his Superman backflip off, but he ends up, giving Solo a dive through the ropes. They're taking off his jacket. Meanwhile, before we go to commercial break, Ricochet jumps on the ropes like he's about to do like a phenomenal forearm springboard. Solo hits him with an uppercut, and he gets caught up in the ropes, and he falls back and hits his neck on the apron and falls off. Scary bump that he took. I was just like, bruh, please don't have Ricochet get injured. But he ends up being okay. He tries to go for a 450, but then Solo Sikoa catches him in the spinning solo for the win. So Solo Sikoa wins the matchup. And then backstage, we see the Bloodline talk about what happened outside as Sami Zayn sitting between the Usos and everything. And then he says, Solo's doing pretty good. This guy took him under my wing, and the Usos got mad like, hold on, bro. You didn't take nobody under the wing. That's our brother, And then James, he was just like, Zayn's like, okay, I'm sorry. Zayn's being a little bit of a hothead. Then James like, call me a hothead one more time. But Roman saying, you are being a hothead. And then he says, but you know what? You can take care of that. He said, because that's what Sammy's going to do. So Sammy's going to be in charge of the Usos. So as they're walking backstage, the New Day come up, and they're making fun of Jey Uso, talking about, so you went from main event Jey Uso to being taking orders from Sami Zayn type thing. And they get an argument, but then Sammy says, well, why don't you go find one more guy, and we can go do a 6-man tag team match later on tonight. And then the Usos didn't look too happy about that. Hit Row come out and they make their entrance, and honestly, like I said, the crowd is mild for. But you know what? I felt as though the crowd was mild for this whole thing, because as they come out and Hit Row's trying to be all face, like even Top Dollar gives his hat to a kid in the crowd, and like the kid about to get a hat back. I was just like, they gotta be heels. And then what comes out? Their reunited rivalry with Legado del Fantasma. So these 3 men in masks come and start beating up Hit Row. And then when Beefhead goes to check on Top Dollar, Selena Vega with blonde hair comes out and gives her hair scissors. And now this is the new, improved update. Legado del Fantasma when they take off the mask, because it's Santos Escobar. They said SmackDown is ours. Looks like business on the blue band just picked up. So I love seeing Santos Escobar. I love seeing Legado del Fantasma. I love seeing that rivalry with Hit Row. I never finished it. But Hit Row, even though they're a tag team, they need a third member. And I think, look, I'm just guessing, but I'm thinking my pick for Carmelo Hayes, I think it's going to be more true coming soon, because they're not just working as the OG3, in my personal opinion. And Beefhead versus Selena Vega is not a match that needs to happen, to be honest with you. But tag team match with Sonya Deville and Xia Li taking on Shotzi and Raquel Rodriguez. Shotzi's going to break out of the tank, but I'm like, Raquel don't need partners. Why did keep putting in tag team matches? But they went after Rodriguez hits the Tejana bomb on Sonya Deville, the end. So we had a little video package about the Extreme Rules matchup between Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey, and tweets about the Sheamus and Gunther match later on. Karrion Kross makes his entrance with Scarlett, and then what I do like is as they do the fall and pray thing, and Scarlett goes down, you see Karrion Kross do like his little X thing. Drew McIntyre comes from behind him, starts beating him up with a strap. Then he puts a strap on his hand, but then he tries to put it on Karrion Kross' hand, but then the guards come down and they try to break him up, and then Drew McIntyre is just like beating up the guards, but then what he doesn't realize is he left the shut around his wrist. Karrion pulls him into the ring post, and slows Drew down. He's pulling him in the ring post, and then as he's doing that, he starts whipping Drew on the back with the strap, and you see all the whelps and stuff like that. So I think it was a good segment to get some heat on their matchup. This is going to be Karrion Kross's biggest test, so I'm hoping that they will be able to do it. We get a vignette for the Viking Raiders, because they've been Eric's been down with an injury, I believe. And then you hear like a female's voice, which I really think is Sarah Logan. I think Sarah Logan's coming back with the Viking Raiders, and if it is, that will be good too. I know Triple H is doing this mass hiring, like come on back. So I believe that could be the case here. Before we get to the 6-man tag match, I know I missed over this. There was another White Rabbit type of promo, but it was like in a video game. You see this White Rabbit jumping, then there's this purple X right there, which is obviously the Extreme Rules X. He digs out into the X, and then all of a sudden this fire comes up, and then like this little things say like "Let me in" different languages. It's Bray Wyatt, and they have the date for October 10th, 2022. So he's coming back at Extreme Rules. When is it going to be? What match is it going to be? I don't know. It could be Karrion Kross's match. It could be Seth Rollins' match. I don't know what they necessarily have planned for it, but he's coming back. Is it just going to be the Fiend type stuff? I don't know. Is it going to change the character up? I don't know. But in Bray, I try to trust. Okay. 6-man tag team matchup. We have the Usos and Sami Zayn taking on the New Day and their mystery partner, Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman is over with the crowd because Braun just does powerful stuff. And that's what happens here. Jey Uso, the whole story of this matchup is Jey Uso and Sami Zayn keep bickering and can't get along and stuff like that. Braun goes for his little choo-choo train going around and knocks Jey Uso into Michael Cole, which I don't think was supposed to happen. And as him and Sam are bickering, Jimmy Uso is in the ring. Braun puts up the one. I was like, why does Jimmy Uso look like Braun going to join him? The New Day hit one of the tag team finish with like a double stomp backbreaker on Jimmy Uso, and they win the matchup. So obviously, we're going to do another New Day Usos matchup for. I know they're going to probably get another shot at the tag team titles, but then they're not going to win it. It should be going for Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. To be honest with you, I hope they're still going with that storyline. But as of right now, they got the win over the Bloodline. So, but I still thought it was an entertaining matchup. Backstage, we see Macyce and Mansoor laid out, and Max Dupree runs him, and then it's to Max Dupree, and he says he had him with them. He said he gave them gold and turned into trash. He's not Max Dupree. He's L.A. Knight. Yeah. So, L.A. Knight is back. So, look, we got Selena Vega back. She's not a queen no more. We got L.A. Knight back. We got Legado del Fantasma. We got a lot of things for the season premiere of SmackDown. Can't wait for Raw. We get Bray Wyatt tonight. So, main event time. Intercontinental Championship matchup. Walter versus Sheamus. This matchup was as great as you can imagine. And then they start fighting. He sends Walter to the LED board, and then Sheamus sends Gunther over the commentary table. And then we go to commercial break. When we get back from commercial, Walter's mouth is bleeding and Sheamus' chest is red. I'm just like, damn, we missed that. Look, when you have good matches on TV, obviously, it's hard to really have great ones when they still got commercial breaks. It's better when they're on pay-per-views and stuff like that, but you can still have great matches on television, but you gotta be able to know how to space it out between the commercial breaks and things like that. But they are beating each other to shit, which I love about that. Sheamus' chest is like beat red, like it's like he got little stab wounds on his chest. Then Sheamus goes for the beat on the chest, and he does it to Gunther on every rope coming down. He does the top rope, then the middle rope, then the bottom rope, and then it takes Gunther out. Gunther goes back, they go forearm and trade chops, and Gunther hits the German suplex onto Sheamus. And then Sheamus hits a white noise to Gunther for off the second rope for a near fall. The crowd's chant, "This is awesome." But Gunther rolls Sheamus into the front, does a front drop kick to Sheamus, which Gunther's taking the people out with their front drop kick before, and then Sheamus kicks out, but then he gives like a splash from the top rope to Sheamus's back, and then Sheamus still kicks out. And then now here comes Imperium as they come down, and then they try to cheer them on, but then here comes the Brawling Brutes to take them out because they got Extreme Rules matchup or 6-man tag match coming up today, and Sheamus looked like he's about to go for the bro kick, but he gives like the bro kick to the arm of Gunther to block the chop, and then they Imperium throws in the shillelagh that Sheamus brought out and hits Sheamus with it, and then Gunther. Well, no, whoa! I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm sorry. The biggest thing in this matchup was after, before Imperium and the Raw Reviews come down. Sheamus puts Walter in a Texas cloverleaf, and as he's doing it, he Walter or Gunther is on his shoulder, and he's trying to reach the ropes, and then he taps on the mat twice. Like, I don't know if he should, like, try to pull over. People will say that like that's a tap out, or like it's a botch. For me personally, at first when I first saw it, I was just like, did they botch that, or was it more of a thing like Gunther was supposed to try to move over, like, or do you like have to tap a certain amount of times? Like, I don't know. I've never been like seen that really, and I was like, I don't know what that is. I mean, obviously, Sheamus was like, I thought it was a tap out, and maybe that plays into the story and stuff like that, but they waved that, the referee waved it off, and then the groups came down there. Then that's when you hit him with the shillelagh, and then the match was over that way. And it was a great match. It was a good match, and like people are really into this. They need to run it back at WrestleMania. I think they need to run it back at WrestleMania so Sheamus wins it. But that was a good matchup. It wasn't good as the first one, but it was a good match. And like I said, it wasn't going to probably be as good as the first one because it's on TV. But I think the WrestleMania one, I think if they do that WrestleMania, that match right there would be crazy. But I think they're gonna have a decent matchup at the Donnybrook matchup where the Brawler Brutes do get the victory here. So that was SmackDown, and me personally, SmackDown gets a thumbs up from me. We got a lot of reveals, a lot of things, advancing the show today and stuff like that. So I enjoyed this. So post any comments down below. How did you guys enjoy SmackDown? Hit the like button if you guys enjoy my review. Hit the like button if you guys enjoy my review. Put the comments down below. So once again, it's the place to be. Mr. ND, and Nerd Coalition is out.